Today on the FHS podcast, we're delighted to be joined by Michael Aldridge, founder and CEO of Kafisi, a leading hospitality-led shared workspace provider that is redefining how businesses operate across Africa. With over 20 years of experience spanning business services, retail, and hospitality, Michael founded Kafisi in 2014 with a vision to bring the service standards of hotels into the world of work. Under his leadership, Kafisi has grown as the largest premium workspace provider on the continent, offering bespoke offices, flexible workspaces, and five-star amenities in cities like Nairobi, Lagos, Casablanca, and Dar es Salaam, and now expanding into Dubai and Saudi Arabia. Beyond creating exceptional work environments, Kafisi has become a multi-award-winning brand, recognized for innovation, design, and its strong commitment to community impact. Welcome to the podcast, Michael. Yeah, we keen to find out a little bit more about Kafisi, the world of shared workspaces, and what you've been doing across the continent in leading this segment. So, Kafisi began its journey in Kenya and has grown remarkably since then. How has the company evolved from its early days to what it represents today?
A great deal. We've learned a lot in the 12 years we've been going. And, we started with a small location in Nairobi, 10,000 square feet. And today we have nearly 600,000 square feet of space across the continent in 8 countries, and more than that with our partner portfolio in South Africa. So it's been quite a journey, but it's been a journey of knowledge and innovation, as we've really felt as though we've been moving with the needs of enterprise across the continent and helping more companies be able to be productive with their workspace. In really, as a sector, a lot's happened in that decade, and Africa benefiting from the leapfrogging concepts of jumping into new ideas faster. We've been able to bring a large amount of innovation into the workspace environment and actually offer a new type of opportunity for enterprise in workspace, because typically there was no version of what we're doing, and so people would have to do it themselves. So we've answered that part of the equation, and we've also, in our mind with Kafisi, created a new asset class in the hospitality industry.
Well, which is a perfect segue into my next question, where you often describe Kafisi as a hospitality-led shared workspace brand. What does that mean, and how does it set you apart from traditional co-working operators?
Well, so we don't stop at the office door, and we're not a functional workspace provider in the way that it's just a space for you to come and do your job and then you leave. What we've realized is that the world of lifestyle and the demands of the individual are bleeding into the workspace as much as they have in other very established hospitality areas. So whether it be restaurants or hotels or um, uh, other forms of long stay accommodation. What we're seeing in workspace is that people want that same feeling of supportive service when they're inside the space. So our model is bringing in a different type of manpower service, but also a different range of facilities that's coupled with the customized workspace that the individual companies are in. And actually, it creates a much more meaningful experience for the user, which is what we labor over the most, is actually the idea of how are our users going to have the best and most productive workday possible inside the space when they go in every day.
So the idea of hotelification of the workplace, that's central to your concept. How do you bring that philosophy into life for your clients?
Yeah, so hotelification is how we've labeled our innovation at Kafisi, and it's an idea we've generated over the last 10 years to bring in really the same thinking of a hotel into the workspace. And so it manifests itself both in terms of approach and in terms of physical space. So in a Kafisi, we provide a range of spaces outside your office which are um, echoing what you may well find in a hotel. So you'd find multiple F&B um, outlets. You'd find places to relax. wellness, event spaces, outdoor terraces, multifunctional capacity through a building. But also we put next to that then a level of engaged service, which so we have front desk, we have concierge, we have room service, we have housekeeping. It says it's using all the similar ideas, largely because what we believe is that unlike in a hotel where you have your room and a shower and you're in a workspace, you have your office and a desk. Everything in between in terms of the demands are somewhat the same. And I know as a user, and as where I kind of generated the thinking from, was that going to a hotel lobby is often a very pleasant experience if you're in your workday. And when I travel, I quite often spend time in hotels on the ground floor if I'm nomadic and I need somewhere to work. And it just occurred to me that why couldn't this just be the everyday experience that you have in your workspace? Why do I have to leave the office to go and have that experience? And so when you visit a Kafisi, our ground floor activation is very much like um, a uh, a hotel. So we've really brought together the best ideas of hotels, first class lounges, members clubs, and put that next to highly curated, customized workspace. And that's the Kafisi product together.
That seems to be a winning formula given your rapid growth across the continent. Um, I'm pretty excited to see it firsthand because obviously we're gonna FHS Africa is going to be coming to Nairobi soon, and you're hosting the welcome reception for Africa's leading hospitality investment summit. So at Kafisi Kaskazi. So what can guests expect from that experience, and what makes it a reflection of the Kafisi brand? And I'm just talking more specifically about our delegates coming to FHS Africa.
Yeah, well, we have a really great event in planning. We're really delighted to be hosting again, actually, with the delegates from the conference to come and see our latest piece of innovation, Kafisi Kazkazi, which in our mind will be the most innovative piece of commercial real estate in the continent, because we're bringing in all of these ideas. We've launched. So what you'll see when you come this time is you'll see the first phase that's launched out. This building is being opened over the year, and we will be delighted to showcase our upper floors where we have our club spaces and our phenomenal meeting rooms that we've created with a new product called VC Gather, which is a very cool product. And we have our art gallery as well, which will be displaying. Um, we have an art program that rolls through the space on a regular basis, and obviously we have a number of clients inside the spaces as well. But it will be a really fun experience, and I think a chance for people to physically experience what Kafisi has been doing across the 25 locations we have across Africa.
Sounds exciting. I mean, it's going to be a treat for our delegates. I can't wait to see it personally. And then just coming back to the brand itself, Kafisi has received several awards for design, service, and corporate social responsibility. How do these recognitions reinforce your mission and values?
Well, I mean, we're very humbled and grateful for the recognition. We work very hard as a team, and it's a 300-person team in the brand, and we are working hard, and we're dedicated to being maniacal about improvements in service and standards in the workspace industry. So it's always nice for the team to achieve that recognition for the hard work that's been put in. And it's also manifesting itself from the levels of occupancy we have and the client relationships that we've built across the continent in multi-cultures, because we're obviously operating north, south, east, and west, and that creates opportunity and also creates an environment that we have to learn continually about how to make our design work in different markets and the nuances of each individual area. I think what's great for Kafisi's recognition, as much as anything there is it's great for the continent, because I think we like to think we're part of the movement to um, awaken the rest of the world to what's possible on the continent. We're very much an African brand that's been built. Um, with an indigenous team who have been working on this for a decade. And I think the fact that we're able to compete on the global stage in standards, I think is a superb verification for what's possible on the continent and the standards that we hope to be able to show the world of what we're doing here.
That's a phenomenal success story. Speaking about expanding beyond Africa as an African brand, tell us a little bit more about your future plans, your expansion plans to Saudi, and Dubai, and a little bit more about how you plan to extend your brand and the ethos that you've worked so carefully to curate and develop in Africa. How do you plan on extending that to beyond the continent?
I think our ambition with the plan for Kafisi was always that we would do two things. That we'd always seen the workspace as being a base platform for expansion, the workspace in Africa, whether that's laddering up into new services. And in Kaskazi, we're actually opening our first set of rooms, which is a natural extension for us to be able to do accommodation inside the locations. So we have that kind of laddering thought into new services, but also we thought to think about where we could take and export the ideas we've developed in Kenya and South Africa and in North Africa, West Africa, and take it to other markets. So actually, the move into the GCC is actually been very natural for us. We have a very strong relationship there with clients. Capital inflows are coming from that part of the world, and it has a historical relationship that shouldn't be forgotten. So actually, it's a very natural step to move from the African continent into the GCC, and we're really delighted by the response that we've had with our first location in development, where it will be open. The first phase will be open in end of Q2 this year, and we'd expect to be able to put at least a dozen Kafisis into the GCC over this next rollout period. I mean, the market for workspace in the GCC is the same as anywhere else in the world, which it's responding well to innovation. And I think that the product that we're offering is an inventive step for that market. And even if it is bringing together a bunch of things that have been seen and done, I think we were actually bringing in a much stronger mindset around what good workspace could mean. I mean, certainly there's a lot of commentary in the papers over the since post COVID, really. I mean, there's quite a lot recently about the office being dead. I think the bad office is dead, but I think the great office and the highly experienced, highly serviced real estate environment that we offer is just at the start of its journey. And I think it's, as is proven by our take-up rate, it's very popular. And so we'd like to feel as though we can bring some of that magic into the GCC, and starting with Dubai.
Brilliant. So reimagining the office space for Africa is finding its success elsewhere. Just there was something I was curious about. The name Kafisi. Tell us a bit about the origin of the name. Is it Swahili for for anything in particular?
Yeah, you're right. Your Swahili is coming through there. Well done. Well done. It's actually it's an amalgamation of two Kiswahili words. It's Kashirikiana Ofisi. So the K is the Kashirikiana, which means cooperative, and Ofisi means office and so it's a play on that. And I think it's now a recognizable word in the market, certainly that we've been in. But we when we set out, we wanted to make sure that the name represented the origins of where it had started from.
So if you'll excuse my bad attempt at Swahili, I'm hoping that you're gonna have to repeat that again. Say it again. Yeah, that Kashirikiana Ofisi becomes an internationally recognized word like safari.
Yeah, well, that would be wonderful and a testament to the work that everyone's putting in. and the thousands of members that are using our spaces as well. I mean, I think it's a really wonderful journey, and we feel very blessed to be part of that movement and the fabric of change and evolution that's occurring in all of the 8 markets we're working in.
Brilliant. Michael, thank you for a great chat. We really appreciate your
Lovely.
time and look forward
Yeah,
to seeing you in Nairobi.
we're looking absolutely. We're very excited to be at the event, and we look forward to continuing our narrative with the peers in the industry. Kafisi feels as though it's at home at these conferences because hospitality is what we do. We believe that in our world, service is there to make sure the lights stay on. But with hospitality in a workspace, we're helping you shine a light on your idea. So it's a great journey, and we're really proud to be part of it.
I love it. I love your insight at the end there. That's perfectly phrased. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you very much. Take care.